Hi everyone, I'm so excited to have Topjon, a good friend of mine and a client that I've actually worked with over the last 12 months as a coach. So we've definitely got to know each other really well. And she knows that I'm her absolute cheerleader, always cheering her on to see her greatest. But I just wanted to ask her some questions and introduce her to you guys, because over the last 12 months she's made a huge transformation. She's really stepped into her power of who she is. And the funniest thing is that when we started working together, she really didn't think that she had that much to work on. She was excited about the idea of having a coach. So let's just rewind to last December, when you were hearing about what I was doing and you decided that it was something that you wanted to do.
Okay. Well, so a year ago in December, I think it might have been late November, you did an online webinar, and it was a free webinar. I jumped on. I was like, I knew you from a previous business that we were both in, and I admired you. So I took a listen to it, and there was a short worksheet to it. I can't remember what it was even called, but it was a short worksheet, and I printed it out and I did it. And then I asked you in a Facebook message if you and I could meet one-on-one, and you probably laughed, but you were like, sure. So then we met one-on-one over the phone about 2 weeks later. And then you and I chatted about kind of where I was at in my life and where I currently was at last December was that my boys were both in college. One was getting ready to graduate, and I wasn't mommy anymore. And I have a job, I have a career, I have passions, but I really wasn't sure what to do with them, or what direction it was going. So I was introduced to your first coaching program, and I decided that I wanted to do it. And it was a stretch. It was scary. I think I cried. I didn't even tell my husband until New Year's Eve at 5:30. I didn't even ask him until 5:30. And then I jumped into it. So that's kind of where the journey started for me last December.
Yeah, so the first way we worked together was through one-on-one coaching. So we worked together for, I think, about 3 months. So what was your biggest takeaways, or what did you get most out of that first experience?
So the first 3 months, because I think it was weekly for the first 3 months. And it was really a chance for me to dig deep and ask myself questions that I had never even really pondered more than a few seconds. So having the homework that I had to do before I even got on our first call was mind blowing to me. And I remember thinking, what did I get myself into? So that 3 months, when I thought I was doing it evolved into more of, I can still do A, but there's more out there for me. I can do more. I didn't know what it was at even the first 3 months. I don't think I knew what it was. So the first 3 months was a dig deep. It was a reflection. It was a just kind of an inner look at what my dreams and desires could be, and what things were not my dreams and desires that I thought they were. And that was huge to me. Yeah.
That was huge and powerful. One thing that I remember so clearly is how you could be this productive superstar when it came to your job and everything that you do, because you were magnificent at it. But when you turned that into entrepreneurship, you were a little bit more like, I don't really know, because there's no real structure to that. So I remember that was one thing that we implemented was, what does this structure look like as this, boss of your own business? You obviously started seeing, great results from there.
Yeah. And a huge part of that was learning how to track my, I can't think of the word. I was tracking my daily progress. And I think that, you do that a lot with a lot of people, but I was sitting down and I was saying what I want to do in a year. I backed it up. It was basically what I want to do today. Yeah. And it was as little as, remember cleaning out a drawer, working out today, eating clean today. It was all very menial things that in the short day didn't really mean anything. But as that built and grew, it started to change my way of thinking and my life and really what my goals were. And I think that's where that was born from, day to day, kind of almost even hour by hour sometimes of like.
I love that. And I remember there was a lot of areas of life that you saw transformation in. You know, one was just like giving your office an uplift or, you know, a facelift. So you actually wanted to be there and you wanted to do your work because it was inviting to you and it was this place where you felt like you were really truly in your zone of genius. I remember that was one thing. Even you mentioned the workout. I don't remember exactly how many pounds, but you even saw like a transformation in your health and weight loss because you were like, I said I was going to yoga or I was going to kickboxing or, you know, I was going to the gym and I was doing it at this time and we were tracking it every single week. And obviously you see huge performance when you do something very small, you do it over and over and you're tracking that every single week. And then you're looking back at the month and going, hey, I lost 2.5 pounds or, you know, I'm continuing to improve myself. So that was really, really cool.
And on that too, one of the things that I learned is I don't have to have 100% perfection. It's not realistic. I mean, remember I was like, I didn't do all 5 and you were like, it's okay. You did 4 or you did 3. And I realized that 70% was still passing, was still succeeding in my book. That was a learning curve for me because I always thought I had to do it either not at all or do it perfect.
Right.
I wasn't doing
huge differences over a year's time when you're okay with 70% and you're not striving for 100 because 100 and 0 equals 50, right?
Right.
If you're doing it 100% of the time or 0, typically you're going to make 50 or 30 or 25 or something less because that's the way our mind's wired. Because if you're shooting for, you know, 70 to 80% on the mark over a year, you're going to see a huge, huge difference. So from us working together one-on-one, you actually, did you do one of my group programs after we were working together? So we went through that experience of group coaching. How did you feel about that?
About the group program? Well, I did Money Mindset and I'm actually going to do it again. I actually started it a second time and get ready to do it a third time because I never finished the second time. But the first time I did it, I don't need this. We're fine. It's all good. We have money in the bank. We can pay our bills. I can do, you know, I did not realize, again, digging deep, really looking at, you know, questions that I never asked myself about when I was a child and that kind of thing. It just changed the way I spend money. And I always was a cash girl anyway, but my husband and I sitting down together and talking about where our finances were. Again, 2 kids in college, 1 graduating, a lot of bills with college loans. Now I'm going to do it again, and I'm excited because I know now it'll be a completely different journey. And in that year of coaching and master money mindset, that kind of thing, I have changed the way I spend money, and I've started getting money that I started getting that I had no idea was even coming to me. Not that I'm a millionaire, not that loans are paid off, but it's financially, I'm comfortable where I'm like not stressed about it as much. So
that's awesome. Yeah. I know you've got to, you know, set some goals money-wise that you guys were able to achieve. I think like a really awesome vacation and some stuff like that. But how is that different from you than normal?
You mean to plan a trip? Well, I mean, my husband and I planned a trip and went in 2 weeks, and it was like, where's that money coming from? And it just was, we just figured it out. I have big, huge goals for 2017, and my husband's still not fully sure if I can do it, but I have it. I got it. Like, I know I'm going to be able to do it. So I think a year ago, I wouldn't have been able to say, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, and really truly believed it. January 2017, I truly believe that I can achieve maybe not all of my goals, but I would say passing, I would say 70% of them.
I love that. One thing I remember you being, you had this habit of saying, I hope, or I wish, or someday, or I might. And then we completely transform that. So to hear you saying like, I know I can do it. I don't care if he gets it or if he's on board, like I'm going to do it. I'm like,
I know. I check myself every time I say, I hope. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. No, I don't hope. And I tell my boys that, and they roll their eyes. They're like, don't hope for it. Tell the universe what you want. You've got this. You totally got it. And I think a lot of that came too, Natalie, from the books I read with you. Because when I read a lot of books, I was reading books that I didn't think I had an interest in. I've read a couple of them twice.
Yeah.
And now I'm always like, what book should I read next? Like, which one can I read now? So I think the books help my mind kind of wrap around that I got this. I mean, working with you was affirmation and guidance, but the books were putting the ideas into my head. And then tracking and that kind of thing just helped me kind of all set it into motion. So
after we went through the group program together, Di reaches out to me and she's just like, I just need you. I want to still work together. I mean, not necessarily how we did or, whatever, but what can we do? And so I didn't offer any type of like long-term program or anything like that. But I really did feel in my heart that there was some reason I needed to figure something out that we could do to where we could continue kind of this journey. I wanted to see you continue to grow and, kind of see you through some of your things. You had this huge shift kind of about that time of you telling me, like, I feel like my heart's going in another direction. Like, my job's good. My business is good. It's so much better than when we started, but I feel like that there's something else. And so you kind of made this transition into, really digging within and finding what that passion was and starting to birth that. Well, of course, that's my most exciting, favorite thing in the world. So I'm like, I want to help her. So we ended up so I guess that would have been around end of quarter one was when we were wrapping up, coaching. Then we went into maybe like a 6-week program. So we're probably talking like late spring, barely early summer. You're like, let's keep doing this. So we decided to actually just do a monthly call, which, inside I was like, can I actually see somebody get progress only, speaking together 1 hour per month? And obviously we have. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I think it was midsummer, late summer when I was like, you can't leave me. Like, I need you. I need you. So, and I think, I probably could have done it by myself. I probably could have, but I knew I was accountable to you. I knew that I had to come to you with progress. I had to come to you with like, this is what I did this month and where that took me. So that was a huge part of it. So the accountability part of it, knowing that I had someone cheering for me, but also someone that was saying, hey, Di, I see you did this, but I think you should push yourself to that. So yeah, that's when everything shifted dramatically. That's when my business, not my old business, but my new business was born. Had no idea what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing half the time, but it's there. So I continue to have that shift of like, what do I still want to do? What do I not want to do anymore? And that's still bubbling inside of me, is learning how to let it go and being okay with that. And I'm just not quite there yet, but it's coming. But I know what working with you every single month has really been affirming to me that it's okay, that there's other things that I can do and I'm going to be good at them. And I don't need to worry about the past things that aren't really serving me any further. So
true. Yeah. So you birthed this new business. Mm-hmm. How's it going for you? Like, is it working?
Yeah, it is. Well, first of all, I had to build my website with some rock star, amazing women that you got me in touch with here in Kansas City. And right there alone was a learning process. It was like going through a boot camp for online business. I had no idea. So that, again, I had to dig deep. I had to do it all on my own. I had nobody telling me that, do this, do that. They were telling me what to do. There was guidance, but it wasn't like, do this next and then do this next. It was on me. So I had your support because you were like, nope, those aren't your colors. Nope, I don't see that as your vision board. Lighten up those pictures. And had I not had you telling me that, I really would have just gone with what I had. And I didn't realize that my branding wasn't really me. Now I know my branding is totally me.
Yeah.
And so the business is going well. I've only really launched it in mid-December, late December. And currently I have 6 clients, and I think I'm bringing on another one in the next week. So that's good for me right now because I have another event coming up that I have to finish first. So yeah, things are going really well.
Super, super cool. So when we had our coaching call the other day, mm-hmm. we dove into a lot of stuff and, you came to the call prepared with, what did you want from me? What did you want to get out of it? But at the end, when I told you that I was going to be releasing this mastermind, where it was going to be this group of women when we were kind of doing the same thing, you got super excited. So what made you decide that you wanted to join the mastermind, and why are you looking forward to that in 2017?
Well, because I do want to continue to work with you, but like you said, it's hard to coach somebody one-on-one continuously for the rest of their life. Right. So we have to break up in that manner. But I know you're still going to be there. But knowing that I can still get the support from you through the mastermind program, because I know you, and I know that you are still going to give me that same one-on-one attention that I'll need at certain times. Mm-hmm. But I love the group aspect because of the money mindset. Mm-hmm. I met some amazing women, and I never would have met them, and now I call them my friends. And 3 of them are very, very successful right now. Their businesses are starting to really boom, and I know that it was the support of each other. So the group aspect of it really, 1, holds you accountable to your group. 2, it pushes you to try a little harder because you have people watching you, and you're like, do I really? Not that matters, but you know what I'm saying. And I feel like having you there to validate and support and guide and give me direction in a way that is, it's kind of for everybody, but I'm going to grab so much out of it. So it may be for somebody else, but I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I never thought about that. So I'm excited about the group. And I've already had so many women that are joining your group that, like, oh, I can't wait to meet you. So there's already that collaboration of women. So I'm excited.
That's one of my favorite things. In Think and Grow Rich for Women, every single chapter there's that experience where she talks about the women in the mastermind and how much other people help you grow. So I love that. It's so exciting to think about the relationships that I had built within my 6-week programs, that this is going to be a 12-month program. They're going to be like sisters, right? It's going to be
we have a retreat at the very, very end, and like pajama party retreat.
Exactly. So it's definitely an exciting time. One thing that I thought was interesting is just how the evolution has happened over the last year. And that when I brought this mastermind up to you, you're like, absolutely, I want to do it. So for somebody who maybe hasn't worked with me previously, they would probably look on the outside and go, well, if Di's worked with Natalie for the last, 12 months or even more than that, does Natalie still have stuff to teach her? What would you say to that person of you going like, surely haven't you got enough? Like, haven't over that amount of time she taught you everything she knows?
No, because I see you have changed so much too. I mean, I'm like, gosh, where did she get that? You were always learning and evolving, and you were always pushing yourself, and I think you're learning from your clients things that we need. And so I think that's important. So you're hearing from women what we need, and then you're figuring out a way to serve that. And I think that there will never be enough that you can learn from somebody.
That's awesome.
And I think as a parent, we know that. And I think as children, we know that. And I think that you always are learning. And it doesn't matter if it's a tiny bitty nugget or if it's a big, oh my gosh, miracle moment. And I think that if it's a tiny moment or a tiny thing and you learn something from that, it was worth your money. And speaking of that, your program is so affordable. I mean, I know what I was paying you one-on-one. I know what other coaches charge one-on-one.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a no-brainer. Like, I get it for that cheap every month? What?
So that's actually why I wanted to offer the mastermind like this. I wanted it to be a no-brainer for somebody who's really wanting to go to the next level. There's no way that it can't serve, tenfold what the investment is month after month. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I'm always learning from my clients. I'm learning from coaches that I'm working with while being coached. I'm learning from, different events that I go to, or, different groups that I'm a part of, as well as continuing to invest in myself. Last night I watched a 2-hour-long webinar, taking tons and tons of notes, going to invest some money back into that program so I can learn from somebody who's an expert in that field. So because I continuously love to learn, I love to pass that along to my clients in any way that I possibly can. For it to increase their business. So before we pop off, if somebody is listening to this who is kind of on the edge, or they're like, maybe I should, or maybe I shouldn't, what would be your last final advice for them?
Well, I think that we all get bombarded with emails of all kinds of programs. Facebook is just dripping with them. And I've clicked on them and like, I'm joining the email list when I have an email clogged full of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know Natalie, if you know your personality, if you know what her goals are, then I think you need to go with somebody you trust. I think that joining this program is something that you can trust Natalie with. I think the value you're going to come out of it with is just going to be tenfold. And I just feel like, take that investment in yourself. Sometimes you have to spend money to grow and spend money to make money. And it is scary to spend that kind of money in a year or even in a month. For somebody $100 a month, it could be a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And it is a lot of money. So don't be scared. Just trust the process. Just do it. And I guarantee you, in a year from now, we're going to look back and go, oh my gosh, I can't even believe where I was January 13th, 2017. So say go for it.
You said something that I actually hadn't really thought about. But obviously you had worked on yourself. You'd mm-hmm. been involved in personal development. You mm-hmm. hadn't necessarily had a coach, but you definitely had been trying to improve yourself.
Right.
But maybe you hadn't invested in yourself.
Right.
What's the difference in somebody just trying to work on them and investing in them? What's the difference in that?
Well, I think working on yourself is fine. I think that everybody should continue to work on themselves, whether that's through their faith or books or supportive friends. But investing in yourself, I think it puts you at a different level of accountability. When you're invested in it and you've spent money on something that's for you and you've taken money from your family or from another finance that you may need to be doing, you're going to be a lot more serious about it. When you don't invest in yourself, I think the serious level kind of drops. It's kind of like when you want to lose weight and you go to the meetings, and if you don't go, you're like, I'm not going to go to the meeting anymore. So if you go, you're accountable. So I think the accountability investment piece of it is huge.
Obviously, I think that accountability over the last year has helped you tremendously, mm-hmm. and you've seen massive results with it.
Right.
And so I think people shy away from the word accountability, or they're like, woo, what's that going to be like to be like called out if I do or don't do something? But at the same time, the end result and getting truly what you want and so much further than you would have been had you not had accountability.
Right.
Is like completely different, right?
I would have never done it. I would have known how to do it. I wouldn't have known what it even was. I would not even known that what I was already doing in my current job was setting me up for my own business.
That's awesome.
So,
but I think that was one reason why you loved it so much and you were passionate about your job. And so seeing you create a business around that's been super, super cool. So,
yeah, my husband asked me the other day, he's like, are you having fun with what you're doing? I'm like, I don't even feel like I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to work with you for a whole another year and see all the transformations that it will bring and all of the success that you'll have and to see the change of what another 12 months will bring you. So thanks so much for sharing your story with everyone. And you guys, I didn't pay Di to say this stuff about me. I actually woke her up really early to hop on this. She's about to go out of town. So I just want to thank you so much for your time and your story, and can't wait to talk to you again soon.
Okay, bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.